Everybody, welcome to week number 4, and the fun starts now. And the reason it starts is because we begin to apply what we've been talking about, what we've been reading about for the last couple or the last 3 weeks, and and then essentially do our part in implementing these types of experiences, and then being able to share them with our community and other educators. So consider that when you first came into the class and we're talking about educational technology and lesson design, the first overarching question was, are we meeting the needs of diverse learners? From there, we began to pivot into educational technology and had its effect on the achievement gap in educational technology and equity. From there, we began to talk about what does the research say, especially in terms of closing the achievement gap and being able to be innovative, creative, and how this affects our students. Now, this week, we pivot and we start talking about the standards and how we can actually use the standards to guide, to be a guide for us into what it looks like when we create these innovative lessons and we integrate technology into them. So why this is important is because the standards are actually developmentally appropriate. So if you and they are based on research. So if you're a 7th or 8th grade teacher and you're teaching ratios and proportions, the students are developmentally able to do that work. They just don't have, some of them may not have the background knowledge or the academic experience to be able to do it. And so there's a key difference there between what they can do and what they can't do. Now, what I also want to point out, and this is a big shout out to one of your colleagues in the course, Sarah Davis. We had, when we designed this course, we wanted to get input from future students and previous students and current students. And Sarah was one of the people that participated, and she was very much the driving force with making sure that this component was included. So thank you, Sarah. But I also want to let you know that, especially when it comes to the SOSIs and through the course, your feedback is greatly appreciated because we consider this course to be an extension of the community. So you own this course, and this course should look how you want it to look. Now, going back to the standards, what that means with the standards is if you look here, the readings, you're going to, well, first you got to do this one, but I'll come back to this here. But you're going to choose the standards that pertain to your group, and there's going to be an independent discussion board just for your group. In this group, you're going to be talking about what standards you plan on addressing within your genre. You don't all have to address the same standard. They could be different. They could be the same. You could collaborate in different ways. That is going to be totally up to you, but that's going to be the discussion board. Now, as we hop into it, we are also going to have to we're going to have to get creative with how we share this information, because this information will be public. We don't want to be sharing information about our own students and that process. So we're going to be doing a character composite, and the reading goes through that. And what you actually have to do for this week, it's all going to be here in the link in the Google slide. You can make a copy of this slide. These are, it might seem heavier than it actually is, but the first thing you're going to do is the demographic information for your lesson. You know, what school, the grade level of students, socioeconomic status. Here, when you're done, you're going to be with the discussion. You're also going to be putting the standards, the goals, the objectives. What we had mentioned, the fictional composite, you're going to be setting up a composite of a struggling student, a composite of a struggling classroom, because when we're talking about sharing this with a community, we want to always look back and think, would this have worked with student A, or would this have worked with that class? And if not, what can we have done differently, or what can you do differently? Next, this is called different things in different districts, and my district is called standard deconstruction, but all it means is this. And how you do it, it's going to be up to you. It could be visual, it could be verbal. I'm not going to stick you on any of those. I just need to see, in essence, this. So if you're doing ratios and proportions in 7th grade, that's the standard that our kids, where we're going to try and take them. The skills that they need to be able to do that are going to be division. They're going to need to be able to do fractions, multiplication, repeated addition. And you need to map that out so that we can see where the potential breaks and pitfalls are going to be within the lesson. It might be difficult for different types of lessons, and that's okay. You just that'll be on a case-by-case basis if you're not able to meet that piece. Next, where does the lesson fall within your unit? So this shouldn't be just a standalone lesson. Like, this isn't like, hey, I'm going to do a 3-act math task and move on. Like, if you're doing a 3-act math task, is it going to be up here? And then what comes afterwards? If you're doing a reader's theater and the reader's theater component comes at the end, what did you do in the beginning? So you don't have a specific place where your lesson falls. I just need to know, and the people who are going to look at it are going to want to know where within the flow of a classroom life did this fall in. And then the last components, you'll see those aren't due until later. So reach out if you have any questions. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Definitely reach out.